the better way to do it is to treat animals nicely, kill them, treat them nicely. It's more the needless cuts, don't know if it's needless killing of things that you know you're going to eat. These questions should be towards the Prime Minister then. So people aren't used to it, yeah.
So, fifth one is pigs. Now, before I say the statement, you might know, or if you don't know, have a guess. How do you think they do dispose of pigs in the UK? In the majority of cases, how do they kill slaughter pigs?
Probably bolt gun again or something, I don't know.
Sorry? Electrocution, bolt gun. Okay. The RSPCA approved method for slaughtering pigs in the UK is to put them into a CO2 gas chamber. Now, CO2 is an aversive gas. It forms an acid on their eyes and in their lungs. It essentially burns them from the inside out. You can imagine you have a can of pop and it goes up your nose and burns your nose. Imagine that sensation 1,000 or 1,000,000 times worse. It takes no longer than 3 minutes for the pigs to be killed that way. Quite often, screaming in terror, obviously don't really know what's going on. They will, they're ripping off their limbs.
That's the RSPCA approved method.
It takes, but often it is as little as 30 seconds. But if you can imagine all the adrenaline going through, that's a long 30 seconds.
Yeah. I suppose that's the RSPCA's approved method, burning them from the inside.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that's acceptable?
Doesn't sound like I guess they're killing them, and it's a lot of the way it's going to be horrible. But you'd think the RSPCA are going to have the best method, and that doesn't sound like a great method.
No, they actually get paid by the industry, and this is like there's been a lot of controversy, particularly over the last few months, about with the RSPCA because they actually get paid by the animal agricultural industry to get their stamp of approval. So it's actually almost in the RSPCA's
fishing community.
Yeah. It's very peculiar that you've got this society meant to prevent cruelty, getting paid to be
just so
cruel.
They can have the stamp on their company.
Yeah, it's crazy. So all these animals, they're obviously, do you know why it's these animals? And obviously I haven't touched all of them, but like lambs as well. Do you know why these are the animals we typically do eat? As opposed to the millions of animals that exist?
Probably something to do with money. I don't know if they're easily reproduced, I don't know.
It's because they're the most docile, calm, caring animals that are out there. That's what it's the reason being. They're the ones that don't fight back. They just go, okay,
you know. Put it on a string and just walk it along.
Yeah, that's the reason why. Yeah. So these are obviously food-related animals. So have you ever considered what actually happens to an animal to get it onto your plate in the first place?
I've definitely considered it. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you looked into it at all, or?
I've seen plenty of documentaries and stuff like that.
Yeah. Any ones in particular has come to mind? Do you remember any of them? What they were called?
Like the Seaspiracy one, like the Cowspiracy one.
Yep.
And then just random stuff on YouTube.
So, do you think what I've described to you, do you think they sound like cruel processes?
Probably. It's more the needless cuts. Don't know if it's needless killing of things that you know you're going to eat.
Yeah. So
if you're eating it, it's kind of got a purpose. The energy's going somewhere else. But
yeah. If you think they sound like cruel, I mean, I'm going to ask you. Not everyone is, but a lot of people are, but not everyone. Would you say you are against animal abuse?
That's well.
Yeah. I'd say I'm against animal abuse, but I'm happy to eat animals.
So if you think that these sound like
industry abuse, like big industries abusing things because they're just trying to make it a bit cheaper to produce, make it expensive, and then if you want to buy it, it's up to you.
Yeah. So if you think those processes sound like they're cruel processes and you're against animal abuse, do you think it is actually possible to buy these animals from a supermarket, let's say, and still be against animal abuse? Do you see a contradiction there?
It's a contradiction, yeah. It is, yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So
that's why they package it in a way that it doesn't look
unrecognisable, yeah. I've had many a conversation with lots of people about they disguise it.
Yeah.
If they, like for example, with smoking, you've got those horrible pictures on it, on the packaging. If you had the process that the animals went through on those packaging, do you think there's a reason why they don't do that? Do you think there's a reason why you don't necessarily all know about these
You don't want to
processes?
see that on food, but the better way to do it is to treat animals nicely, kill them, treat them nicely, but then if it costs a lot more to put that into the shops, make it more expensive, then less people will eat it.
It's already, the reason it's the price it is, it's because it's heavily subsidised by the government. If they actually did reflect the true price, it would have just priced everyone out of the industry anyway. All that they would do is they put the price up, is that the government would then turn around and go, okay, we'll have to subsidise it even more then.
The government is subsidising it so that everyone can continue eating meat.
Yes.
These questions should be towards the prime ministers then, rather than the people on the street.
It's just crazy. And there's actually almost zero funding for alternative foods out there as well. So that is a huge percentage of our budget.
Because I eat a lot of the fake chicken and stuff as well. Because my
You've tried it.
Vegan, we eat it all the time. But if they made that cheaper, it's something that people would eat more.
So you mentioned your partner's vegan, you said. This is going to sound like a stupid question almost, because almost certainly you do know, but do you know what the big difference is between, let's say, a vegetarian and a vegan is?
The differences, yeah.
Yeah, and
animal products in total rather than being pick and choosy. But there's always a spectrum when it comes to people anyway.
So a lot of people, and I'm kind of saying this possibly more for your benefit, but a lot of people think that being vegan is, I don't have animal products, I don't go to zoos, I don't wear leather, don't believe in fur products, it's avoiding all animal products. And that is part of, being a vegan, I guess. But the being a vegan is actually taking a stance to say that, you know what, that process that you've described is so horrendous, to take an animal's life against its will, that it doesn't want to do that, when there's all these alternatives out there that aren't the same, but they're pretty good. And we're saying that tiny bit of difference is worth that animal's life.
The alternatives haven't been around for long enough, so people aren't used to it, yeah? It takes, especially in lots of other countries as well, they don't really have these alternatives, and they're doing it all to their animals and abusing them in a way. We just look at it more in our country.
The UK is pretty much head of the field for the most part.
People will make the wrong decisions over and over again. It's not going to change anything. I want to live my short life, and I want to live it how I want to do it. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and if they want to do it like that, that's bad on them. I'm not the one telling them to do it like that. I wish they would do it a better way, but they're not.